Here we presents the top 5 best graphics card. Starting of our listed number 5. Gigabyte Radeon RX Vega 56. We had high hopes for Vega prior to its launch, and ultimately it couldn't live up to the hype. Instead of being the Titan killer we hoped for, the Vega 64 and Vega 56 failed to take down even Nvidia's year-old GTX 1080-1070. The RX Vega 64 is AMD's fastest current product, and it will easily handle modern games at 1440p and even 4K in many cases. Where it comes up short is in efficiency. The Vega 64 often uses 100W more power than a GTX 1080 and 150W more than a GTX 1080. It's not just about power and heat, but noise levels. The reference blower cards from AMD run substantially louder than most other GPUs. The Vega 56 is the better alternative from AMD, only running about 5–10% slower. We really want something faster, as Nvidia is effectively unchallenged at the top. Unfortunately, that likely won't arrive until AMD's Navi ships in late 2019. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Coming in at number 4 of our list, MSI Gaming GeForce GTX 1050. If you're looking to buy a current generation graphics card, there are only 2 options at the $150-ish price point, the AMD RX 560 and the GTX 1050. The latter takes home our recommendation for best entry-level card by providing the best performance at that price point. Simple enough. Like the GTX 950 we reviewed last year, the GTX 1050 pumps out 60 frames per second, or close enough to it, at 1920x1080, even with the settings turned up. Most models will also feature a shortened PCB and simple cooling, typically without an external power connection. That means the slim card will fit into compact cases, as well as pre-built systems with total power as low as 300 watts. Of course, the trade-off for the GTX 1050's bargain price means it likely won't last as long as other GPUs. While the GTX 1080 is still firing on all cylinders a few years down the road, the GTX 1050 might start looking a little sad. At least at $130, your wallet won't hurt too much having to pick up the tab. If you have a few extra dollars spare too, you could upgrade to a 1050 for a nice little bump in performance and some additional longevity. Halfway of our listed number 3. Nvidia GeForce RTX 2070. The ray tracing future may sound great, but what if you can't afford $700 or more on a graphics card? That's where Nvidia's RTX 2070 enters the picture, the third Turing GPU and the most affordable of the bunch. More importantly, it's relatively widely available, and there are even a few cards at the base recommended price of. That's still a lot of money for a graphics card, and the 2070 is actually slower than the previous generation 1080, at least in games that don't support DLSS, which is everything for the time being, though that should start to change soon. The RTX 2070 effectively takes over where the GTX 1080 left off. It offers slightly better performance for the same price, and like the other RTX cards it features the new Tensor and RT cores. The Founders Edition wasn't particularly impressive, given its premium, but we like the EVGA 2070 Black quite a bit and it makes for a fine addition to any new gaming PC. Number 2 of this list. ZOTAC GeForce GTX 1080. Unlike the GTX 1060, there's nothing budget-friendly about the massive GTX 1080 Ti. Aside from the Nvidia GTX Titans, which are absurdly expensive and not that much faster, the GTX 1080 Ti is the most powerful consumer offering currently available in Nvidia's arsenal, and it shows in its gaming performance. Better yet, now that its sequel, the 2080 Ti has been unveiled, it's one of the few cards to see a big price drop. Falling far from its historic heights during the GPU pricing crisis, it can now be had for less than its launch price for the first time in its history. This card can hit an average of 60 frames per second in many games, even at 4K resolution. While there were similarly priced cards in the previous generation, such as the AMD R9 Fury series and the GTX 980 Ti, even they couldn't capably handle 4K gaming on their own. And coming in at number 1 of our list, ZOTAC GeForce GTX 1060. The GTX 1060 might not be the cheapest card, and it might not be the most powerful, but it offers a solid balance of the two that will appeal to most PC gamers. With no obvious replacement in the Nvidia 2000 series yet, this card should remain relevant as a mid-tier gaming card for some time to come. It also hits the sweet spot for graphical memory. The GTX 1060's 3 GB of GDDR5 should be just the right amount for 1080p gaming, although higher resolution textures may push up against that limit. It's also one of the cheapest entry-level cards for virtual reality. That said, it isn't going to deliver top performance in every game. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is by far the most demanding game we've tested, and the GTX 1060 delivered just 37 frames per second on average while running at ultra settings in 1080p. This video card is great in most situations, and there is always the option of the slightly more expensive 6GB version if you want additional VRAM headroom, but if you want real power, you'll need to stretch your wallet a bit further. For more information and price, check out the product links and description underneath the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel, share this video and hit the like button.